We are back to QC the MiG-31. So if you are free to join along, watch me, check out the MiG-31. Welcome, 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 and good to have you along. Okay, the panel lining. Some of these models were missed on the panel line, so just touching that. Hey, Tarek, welcome, welcome. Maybe the idea is not to look at me, but to look at what I'm doing with the model, I guess. So I'll just do this. There we go. So instead of looking at me, you guys can actually see the. I'm not sure about the flying mule. You have to check with Kelly. I'm deep. I'm neck deep, knee deep, whatever, deep in the work. I don't handle the logistics. Try to get you guys a better angle. So I think we've already QC'd about almost 500 MiG-31s, contrary to my numbers before on the live stream previously. I may have just underestimated the numbers. So we are actually needing about 300 more units to reach our 800 piece limited production. So, I still need to look through all these things because it has to be the it has to be up to standard when it reaches you guys, because this is the standard of Calibre wings. So today we've actually decided to, I guess, put the camera aiming at the model instead of on my face. No point for anybody to look at my face for a live stream. What's the point, right? So you guys would want to see how the models are done, how the models are being checked. So I might as well just give you guys a more close-up, a more intimate view. If you may, it's not the best camera angle still. My apologies, right? I'm sure that the professionals will have a nice camera setup above head, overhead, right over the model. But this camera is obviously aimed from the side. Um, if I did it over the head, then I wouldn't know if I'm actually aiming the lens correctly. I can't even see the comments from the phone, right? So over here from the side, I can still sort of peek to the side of the phone, meaning peek it to my right, where the phone is at the angle, and I can sort of see any comments that might come along as I occasionally just glance to the right to the phone to see if there's any comments or any questions. But of course, I'm focused on getting these minute details done so that the models can be quickly shipped out to everybody. The factory is almost going to be closing for Chinese New Year as we speak. Basically, around the 20th, this weekend is probably the last day that the factory will have anybody left. Everybody's going home, right? To the hometown for Chinese New Year, a very important festive period in the Chinese calendar, especially in China. Well, mainly in China. So we have to appreciate that the workers leave their homes to seek employment in the cities such as over here where the factories are, and the what you call it, the sacrifice, right? So they work basically around the clock every year, and Chinese New Year is the only time where they can actually go home. Well, there is still other holidays for them to go home, like the National Day in China, right? The National Day, the Golden Week they call it, and then there are some other um, festive occasions where they can, like the what sweeping of the tombs and all these things. But it's not as long as, and it's not as elaborate as the Chinese New Year itself. So the what I'm just trying to say is that the workers have worked their asses off the last year, even though they may not have done the best work, uh, because it takes a different kind of understanding to make a caliber model, which most factories have failed to understand. So they have done their work, and it's time for them to go back to reunite with their families and take a break from the work. So obviously they will come back come the end of February, so one whole month, and then it's back to work. It's back to learning how to make caliber wings models. Is going back to producing the F-16s next and the S2 tracker following that. And of course, we have a nice big uh, B-58 that's coming up really soon. So I'm always trying new things, right? So we tried to do the good morning, McLaren, Mr. Vaughan McLaren from Bulgaria. So like I was saying, I'm always trying new things. So what I tried before with the first models, you know, and then subsequently this one, the MiG-31, it's a case of almost like a crowdfunding where I take money upfront to fund the tooling before I actually make it. So I was able to get support from you guys on that one, and that's why now I don't do the same for the B58. I'm actually already tooling the B58. You see. So for those who are listening, please understand, especially those who are very critical about, oh, nobody gets money up front. You know, who does that? Well, there are many people that do it, right? Go check your news, right? Even Hasbro does that. Hasbro, the multi-billion-dollar company, um, takes people's money up front for their HasLab project. So it's not uncommon, right? And more so for me as an independent individual guy, without the funds. So if it wasn't for you guys' support, the MiG-31 would not be made, because I made a promise to just go all the way to the prototype stage. And after the prototype, it was up to you guys to support the project to get it into tooling phase. And hence, I needed all the orders up front, the payment up front, and that's all we did, right? So you guys have seen, right? So although there is delays, right? Although there is delays, again, the delays are from matters that we learn along the way, right? That the tool maker is not quite as good as he claims to be. That there is so many parts to the model that meets the eye. It's not a simple, oh, let's just tool a few parts. I mean, we have more parts. I think we might have 3 times as many parts as the Hobby Master version, right? So the more parts you have, the more tooling work you gotta, attend to. So, um, hey Pete, the paint I'm using is no secret. It's oil paint. You can't use acrylic. Acrylic dries like mad. So there's no chance to make any corrections once you're done with acrylic. Oh, I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not a student of acrylic. So yeah, I mean, you gotta understand that you guys helped to make the MiG-31 a reality by believing to put your money up front, and then how do I repay you? I don't ask you to pay up front for the B58, right? I make the B58 tooling is already being made, right? So for those who said, oh, it's impossible. Why is he taking my money first? We don't do that. Well, if you don't do that, you don't get your MiG-31, right? It's as simple as that. So, but as you can see, I don't ask for any upfront for the B58. I will probably ask for upfront at the production phase, which means that after the tooling is done, before we go into production, I will be consolidating orders by asking for the upfront payment. But then again, it's always an incentive, because whoever partakes in the upfront payment will get 30% discount off the retail price, the suggested retail price, right? If you order early, you get a discount. If you want to wait, then you wait, right? You wait, and when it comes out, whether or not it's sold out, then you can start to buy it. So that's the way I see it, and it might be right, it might be wrong. Who knows, right? It all depends on what you guys think. So, so I think this one is good to go. Just some final checks. All right. Okay, that's good to go. Um, yeah, we definitely use modeling technique. How else do you make a model without using modeling techniques, right? So, so I'm looking at the overall, and I don't like this is bench, and there's a hue here. It's too dark. 这个我不要，这个 Y 这里有个黑影，我不要 Y 跟黑影要补这个。So that one goes back to the drawing board. So this one, as you can see, is straight, right? It's straight now. Weathering is clay based. What is mean by clay based? It's not clay. It's oil. It's no secret, It's oil paint. There is no secret in all these things. Seriously, it's no secret. Hobby master can learn and copy and do it, right? We use Winsor and Newton, right? Whoever wants to copy, right? Oh, right, they finally got. Go ahead, make proper models for the collectors, right? Hobby master, you can use these paints, right? And weather your models. Come on, give the model some good. Give the model buyers proper models. I mean, you are the hobby master, right? Okay, and I'm I'm not I'm not shitting on hobby master. I'm just because they're the only guys. They're the only guys in the market that does models. They are the only brand that makes models, like I said in my previous stream. Apart from the corgis and the, you know, so yeah, this is all very simple. It's very simple, right? There's no secret. There's no, oh, Caliber wings is has some secret technique. No, there's no secret. No, look at Fossil of Valor. They're also doing weathering on their armored models, right? Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just a very amateur model. I'm not even close to anything. I would not win any competition. Let's put it this way. I would not win any competition if I were to make my own models. Although I did win some small competitions back in the day in Singapore, but that is just like I'm nowhere close. I'm nowhere close to those standards that you see. Okay, so I'm just gonna touch up on this a little bit. I mean, this is just to. I'm doing these live streams so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm not exactly like flouting around at home, right? I'm not playing computer games and in fact I don't play computer games. I'm not a gamer, right? I got tons of stuff to do. I have tons of work to do. I got to develop product for ramen toy. I got to think of the next schemes for Calibre. I got to plan the packaging for the F-16s. I got to find out and learn about what are the armaments that's going to go with the next model. There are lots of new ordnance in the market, in the aerospace, in the military space, but I've not yet totally understood all of them, and I don't pretend I do. And obviously, there's many of these new ordnance that's missing from my uh, tooling. Yes, JC Wings basically is using my fitter tooling. I mentioned before, it's the fitter. It's my tooling, but because the factory just refused to make the corrections, right? So I said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna deliver a model that is has so much flaws." The flaws of the fitter were in the wing design. The wings are scratching the paint off as it sweeps in and out. There's an error with the fuselage on the front, which I wanted corrected, even though it's already tooled. I wanted to revise the tooling. Um, there is just insanely loose parts on the pylons, and in fact, like I said, the pylons are supposed to take my Su-24's ordnance, right? It's supposed to fit, but when I got the test shot, it didn't fit, right? So why didn't it fit? And they refused to do anything about it. So obviously JC Wings is able to get them to listen and do stuff. That's why they got the fitter out. And it's a pretty decent job, like I said before. Probably the one of the best models I've seen uh, made from a factory. So kudos to them. You know, credit where credit is due, right? If you have if you make a good product, then you deserve the recognition. But Calibre is going for other stuff. We are aiming for, of course, really, Pete. Of course, I don't bullshit you guys, man. Why should I bullshit you guys? Everything I say is the truth, and nothing but the truth. But of course, when I talk about all these, people say, "Oh, you are drama." The guy is drama. Don't air your dirty laundry. No, I mean, if you want to know the truth, that's the truth. Because you know why? Because you can't handle the truth, right? You can't handle the truth, and that's the truth. I was so excited to make the fitter. Um, the plans were also for the double seater. So the double seater is on a 3D, but it's not yet tooled because the idea was to see what not see, but to first get the revenue back, money moolah, get money back from the sales, and then we can start to tool the double seater. Oh, you never knew it was my tooling, Pete? Go back and check Calibre Wings. Go and check my Facebook. Everything is all there. I don't delete anything. Well, I delete some things, right? Which is redundant stuff. I delete redundant stuff, but go check it out. Go check out. You just need to flip through the pages and check some archives, and you'll know that the fitter is a Calibre Wings tooling. But as of 2020, um, no, I mean I sold them the tooling because obviously it was their factory that I was using to make the tooling, right? It's a small world, right? This industry is a small world. I even know the Hobby Master factory, but I'm not obviously I'm not going to be doing my models at Hobby Master factory, right? It's just like it's like a it's not it's just like a courtesy. You don't do. I mean, it's like Apple does not use the. I mean, okay, I'm not sure about this. I'm just talking rubbish. Uh, I think they all make the stuff at Foxconn, right? So does Samsung make it at Foxconn? I'm not sure, but I'm just saying. Let's say, right, you don't have iPhones being made in the same factory as Samsung. That's what I'm saying. 哎，这里帮我披风啊，这里太大了。 So I spotted some deburring issues with the previous one, so I got them to fix it. There was too much burr. 这里也是啊，你看，这里 see the burr? Can you see the there's a burr there? 这里 So you first look at the overall to see if there's any mistakes that sticks out, right? Because along the way there is a rubbing off of the weathering paint, and sometimes overdoing it will result in a polished surface. There's a polish. There was, yeah, sorry guy, I'm not really like reading all your comments because I'm really wanting to do the QC, but like I said, I'll just narrate as I go along. Um, even though there's not that many comments, but I sort of see some of it, but not too sure if I should comment on all those stuff. But yeah, so I look at the model, and basically if it feels good. So this is the portion that is difficult to even tell the factory how to do it, because it's based on feeling. When I look at the model, if I feel that it's right, if I feel that it's right, then it can pass. If I feel that it needs a little bit more, then I will apply a bit more. So this is difficult to, you know, how do you actually do that? So there is no standard. In anything there must be a standard, right? So the unfortunate thing about what this is, which is art, is there's no standard. As long as it looks good, uh, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, and that's what this is all about. So I'm looking to see if it's good enough over here, and I think this one is pretty good. I don't see any major issues with this one. I mean, it's not perfect. Let's be very honest here. Okay, I'm not saying that this is a perfect model that's in front of me right now, but is it okay? Is it enough? Right, as what it is. Again, I'm not saying that if it's good enough. No, I'm not saying that. Good enough is never good, but if it is of a certain standard that we want to look at and it feels good, then it's good to go. That's what I mean. All right, so this one is good to go. Let's place it in the blister over there. So I place it in the blister. Once it's in the blister, it's good to go. So everything is 100% checked. Okay, every single unit is checked. That is always the goal. But because I cannot check every single piece on the previous production, I check to a certain degree, and then the rest I don't check. Right? So there was a big hoo-ha as well. But the time was like, oh, he's not checking the QC. Yeah, because like I said, the factory does not allow me to check. So I said, no, there's no check. I'm just telling you guys exactly what it is. Right? The factory said that I cannot check the models like that. So I'm just telling you guys, right? The models are not checked. I'm talking about the infamous wave two of the Ultimate Vipers, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the wave two Ultimate Vipers were branded ramen model instead, so I can sort of make an excuse that, oh, it's not Calibre wings, right? But it doesn't mean that ramen is doing shit stuff, right? I'm having a ramen toy shirt. Ramen does good stuff, okay, but ramen model, which is the Phantom, right? It never actually took place. made those very crazy F-16 Wave 2 Vipers because I was not allowed to actually inspect them at all. And of course, all the colors were wrong, obviously. And then the factory is saying, "Oh, but this is the colors that you told us to use." Yes, I have already told them whatever colors that I pick out is only a guide. The moment you apply it yourself, the moment you mix the colors, it's like a Pantone chip, right? The Pantone chip can be selected, but does that mean that the Pantone chip is the end all, be all, and all? How do I know, right? I will select a reference color, and when the reference color is applied onto the metal surface, it may change. The tone may change depending on a variety of factors, right? The fact that it's a metal paint, not a plastic paint, the fact that there is a human mixing the paint. So the final color is not going to be correct until myself look at it and I say, okay, this gray. Although I selected this gray, but tell you what, this gray is a bit too light. Let's darken it. And that's the way we do it. We are on the spot in the factory, adjusting the color so that it ends up to be 90% to what we want it to be. 90%. Okay. Not 100%, but 90%. Because there's never 100%. Okay. Whoever tells you that they can mix a color 100% is just bullshit. Okay. Maybe they can do it 98%, but it's never 100%. So there is they do not understand, right? The factory saying, "Oh, this is the colors that I chose." No, I may have chosen the colors, but I've not yet seen the colors applied onto the model to confirm that if these are the correct colors that I want. And that's the way I've been doing things. Look at the first F-16 Wave 1 Vipers. The what's that? Oh, come on. The Hellenic Viper went through how many changes? I've selected the colors at least like 5 times. That means on 5 occasions, I thought that this was the right color. I said, okay, let's do this. But once it's applied, it doesn't look right. Then we have to change. And we kept changing and changing and changing. And even the final production colors of the Hellenic is still not correct. But at least it looks as close to what I think I want to do based on the limitations, based on time factor and everything we need to get out of the product. I thought that the Hellenic, okay, I think I can accept this color. And that's how we got it out. And the first MiG killer, right, the F-16 on the MiG killer, look at those colors, okay? And you can say that those are not the real colors, of course, because there's always a different shade of the FS colors, even printed on the real F-16, even from the actual US Air Force, is gonna deviate from tone to tone. There is no exact same color, and that's the whole idea of the whole hobby and collecting. What's the point if you collect all F-16s from Hobby Master and everyone looks the same? Yes, they look different with the tail markings and all these liveries, but the base gray, if look at all their base gray, it's all the same. If it's a US AF F-16, all is the same. Because why? They just use the exact same color over and over again. What's the fun in that? You got to have a deviation of colors, right? And for those that say, "Oh no, how can you deviate? Is the FS colors is the Bible FS colors?" No, because an aircraft goes through weathering as it flies, and by the friction of the air on the wings, on the body, it itself as a sandpaper rubs off the colors. Okay, so even the colors will undergo changes. So don't tell me, oh, you have got to follow the FS. You know, this is FS gray. You know, this is the Gadze Sanyo. You know, 305 for the dark gray, and this is 307 for the no, right? It's the gray that I look at it and I combine it, and if it feels like this is the F16 I'm going for, then this is the F16 I'm going for, right? But obviously, it's not going to be white as they did it very close to white for the Wave 2, right? Because those colors were not sanctioned by me, right? So there you have it, guys. Those are some insights. I've been like holding off to do live streams because what am I going to talk about when there's no models being produced? There's no models that's being delivered due to all the delays. So I'm not gonna like go on a live stream and start talking about all these things. Then there'll be people say, "Oh, this guy, look at this guy. He's a drama. He's just talk, all talk." So now I'm using the time to touch up the models, to just rant on about these kind of stuff. Then at least for the 6 people who are watching, you can know better. You can bear witness to the truth, right? And that's the truth. So I'm gonna have some plans to further innovate the hobby. I will review those plans pretty soon, and hopefully uh, the plans for the new ideas for the products would take off. No pun intended. For Calibre Wings in 2024. So I just approved that piece. Exactly. What you guys talked about is exactly right. So you see here, this look at this. Can you see that? The light, they sort of like oversprayed this new color. It just doesn't match. 这个颜色不对 so it goes back. 这个颜色 Hey, McLaren, worst critic. No, it's good. I mean, you don't know me at first, right? So everybody have their own position. It's fine, right? As long as you understand the nature and the actual thing, then it's always good, right? Worst critic is good. But what I can't stand is all those people that claims to be, my fans and my customers, and then and they go onto the forums and they talk shit. And the worst thing is that they come back when they are not at the forum. They come back onto my Facebook page and they start to say, "Oh, no, no. Those guys know who they are, right?" So there's a reason why I block certain people, right? Like Mr. From Australia, Mr. What's his name? Christian Oakley, right? Christian Oakley. So Christian Oakley was a staunch supporter of Calibre Wings at first, and then he went on uh, this rant to me when I was saying that I left Calibre Wings, right? And then when I reappeared, then he was like, "Oh, but you lied, right? You lied." So he's harping on the fact that I lied. Hey, Stephen, Charles, long time no see. So he's harping on the fact that I lied of my dismissal. What's the point? What's the point of that? I mean, if I lied about my models, right? If I said I'm going to sell you an F16 that is so nice, and then I gave you crap, that's a lie. Okay, fine, all right. But I lied about myself being removed from Calibre Wings because that's what you guys wanted, right? Some of you guys said, "Oh, come on, stop the nonsense, stop the drama," you know. Okay, so to stop the drama, what do? I got to remove myself, right? So I made the announcement to say, oh no, so Noel Lee is no longer part of Calibre. So at least for those guys who want me gone, they can rest easy, and they can probably start looking at the models by itself, right? So instead of me before showing my face to talk about my models, and they don't like my guts, they don't like the way I do things, then okay, let me remove myself. Let's try something out. Let's try something. Let's remove myself and see if you can now appreciate the models for what they are, right? That was the whole idea. But obviously, uh, you know, I just thought that okay, seems like nothing is working. It doesn't mean that myself uh, not well. There was all these questions, right? There was all these questions that needs to be answered. So how can Caliber Wings operate without somebody doing live streams, doing videos, and right? It's got to be me because I'm me. This whole company is me. So if without me, how do you how do you get the information? How do you get the information transferred? How do you promote the model without a me, right? Some will say, oh, you go hire a PR, go hire what? I have no money. I don't have money to do that. Why should I be wasting your money, right? It's you guys' money. You guys pay Caliber Wings, so it's your money. So why use your money to get a guy who doesn't know about models, okay? But he's good at PR. He's good at all this whatever shit. He doesn't know shit, right? So why? You only can you can only sell your own stuff that you know. So I came back. I came back, and the Christian Oakley is like, oh, but you lied. You lied, man. You lied. That's the fact of the matter, man. You lied. Obviously, I didn't take too well to his constant berating that I lied. Then I just banned him because I don't appreciate this kind of a person. Um, if he was gonna be like, okay, oh wow, you actually pulled a fast one, man. I thought that you were really gone. That sort of thing. Welcome back, man. Then it's good, right? It's all cool, right? But oh, you lied. The fact of the matter is you lied. That means me lying was more important than models being put out for him. So that's why I told him to just fuck off. Yeah. When dealing with me, it's either you are sincere. You don't have to carry my balls, right? There's no need to carry my balls and whatever, right? Just be sincere, be yourself, and everything will flow. Everything will come along. So if you are gonna hold me to lying, that's it. That's the end of the road, right? And if you're gonna talk shit about me when you don't know shit, and in front of me, you are like, oh, you put on the mask and everything's all fine. When you know yourself that you talk shit, then sorry as well. You are also not gonna be in my books at all, because I don't need two-faced uh, people. That's why I insist is the customer is important, but the customer is not always right. Okay. Yes, the customer is king. Without the customer, there is no business. But again, we all know that the customer is not always right. All right. And then I have my own, I can choose my customers, and my customers choose me. Okay. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And the reason why I'm making sure every single model is good. And when the model is not good, I feel like shit. Right? When the models are not done properly, I feel like shit. You think I'm just like, oh fuck them, No. When the model is not good, I do not feel good at all. I feel very bad. But again, it's a business. The show must go on. So during 2020, when I was putting out all those F-14s, it's still not. It's not what I want. None of it. actually is like, oh, this is great, man. The closest to it being good was the JR03 Joy Rogers, right? So for those of the who said that who said that oh yeah, so, who said that why don't you do Joy Rogers? No, because at that point of time the F14 tooling was not seasoned, and I do not want Joy Rogers, a livery that everybody loves, to be on a model that oh, there's loose here, loose parts there, everything. Yes, granted, there's still some loose parts on the pylon because that can't be helped. But at least for the elevators, for everything else, right? It's seasoned, so people know that the factory knows how to make an F14, and then they make less mistakes, and then you get a better looking Joy Roger to keep in your collection. And that's the whole mentality behind not putting out Joy Rogers, right? Even though it's the hot seller, we don't just put it out because it's the hot seller, and we don't just put out hot sellers because, like I said, there's so many uh, liveries, right? Why do I put out Starfighters, right? Um, I put out the Starfighter. I put out the what's that? The Diamondbacks. All these things, you know, rare. I mean, like almost like not so interesting liveries, but a livery nonetheless. It's a liapu. So that there's a spot there that's missing the gray paint. 来，医生帮我补这个，然后这个就好了。Yeah. So like I was saying, right, the show must go on. So we did those models, the Top Gun. Even the Top Gun is not to my standard because they have not yet understood. But it was the first attempt at making what you might call it, toning, right? The different tones of the gray and applying the panel wash in that particular way, right? Panel wash was done before, but not in that particular way. That's the difference. So yeah, you know, I would say that I would say that I would say that apart from the even the Super Tomcat wasn't hey Steven, as I've always said, it's your company and your products, and you produce the best models and have a passion, and you are proving it now doing all this QC work. The Tomcat models you produce are awesome, and I have many collectors wanting those first models. All right, man. That's the whole idea, right? If at the end of the day, the models are liked by someone, that's mission accomplished. That's mission accomplished. But we definitely don't put out mediocre models. We want to put out, decent models. Not the best, right? We never claim to be the best, but decent things that is different from what's in the market. Even a Super Tomcat that I spent so much time, we tooled new parts, right? We tooled new parts for accepting the was it the harm missile, I think. Um, but the fact of the matter is that the paint was applied too thick on the model. Why? Because it's supposed to be semi-gloss, and then when the factory did it, they did it in matte white. And I said you have to do it again, and they just simply sprayed over instead of doing a whole new production, which is understandable because to do that means there's a total loss for the factory, right? Whatever 1,000 piece that we did of the Super Tomcat, then whatever that they have done in matte white is a total loss. Similarly for the Black Bunny, right? I wanted it to be super gloss, but that was just as gloss as the factory could do it based on, you know, many factors, right? We all know that for something to be gloss, the the surface has to be well polished. So if, as we all know, not the models, the die cast surface is not polished to the extent that it can accept uh, a nice gloss coat. So the reason why the gloss is not gloss is because of the fact that the surface, right, is not polished. These are just standard surface. So the standard surface will not be able to have fine the fineness, so that when the paint goes on, it goes on totally like a piano finish. So again, many factors, right? If we wanted a really shiny black bunny, we got to, which is insane, right? Nobody's going to do it. You're going to polish up the whole molds, spend money, and even by doing that, it's not perfect because it's all done by hand, right? All these polishing work is done by hand. There is a worker in the factory with a grinder polishing it to mirror finish, right? The only real mirror finish is those automated polishing, like your iPhones, right? Remember the iPhone 7? There's the truly piano finish. So those are like really, it's all automated. And even when you get those, look at how easy it scratches, right? The higher gloss you have on a surface, the easier it is to just get fine scratches on it. So pros and cons, pros and cons. So yeah. So fast forward to 24, you know, we're finally getting our models out, albeit still some delays, like with the F14, the F16, sorry. Oh, and also the F14 was supposed to actually deliver the Brutus F14, but that's also being delayed because there's no bandwidth. There's just no bandwidth to be able to make all that production, right? So it's got to be handled bit by bit. But you know, we're always optimistic as and when we're trying to move to a new facility. So if things go well if things go well, what you might call it in March, not in March, sorry, in June, I should be in a new facility, and the new facility I'll be able to maybe have a more personnel, and with more personnel, then we can actually allocate different groups to handle more aircrafts, right? More aircraft types, so we can hopefully speed up production on my other plans. I've even done a tractor, right? A tractor, a tow truck for the F16, but I've yet to implement it because you know there's so many things that I want to do, but I don't have the bandwidth to finish the work or even commence the work. So things like fuel trucks and stuff like that. But it will be done, right? So even the U2, right? The U2 is basically dead in the water because I think um, at the moment there's just not that much that I mean I can make that U2, right? But I doubt the sales of it can justify all the effort and the work, given that there's already a U2 in the market. So if there was no U2 in the market, then yes, I'll still be doing it for sure. But because there's a U2 in the market, and the fact that you know it's not exactly a subject that is going to have lots of liveries. So you know, as much as I want to do it, just to prove that I can do it properly, I might have to stand down, right? Stand down and just take this one, right? Take it as. But we'll see, right? We'll see if we can actually do any other stuff after the B58. I'm still not yet decided on what's going to be next after the B58. And when I announced about, did I announce about something in 48 scale? Maybe. I guess when I do it, then I'll announce. No point talking about it at the moment. So I spotted a paint chip here. So I'll have to touch up. Oh, 加一点开油水. So I have to touch up. Oh. So I normally do not like to touch up models with paint, but there's no choice. The little, it's just a little bit that the base paint has scraped off. So I just need to apply the base body color paint back on, and voila, that's it, right? That's it. It's not really in a very prominent position, right? It's under the wing here, so you can't really see it, so it's okay. If it's like a very prominent position, then I would not do that application, because I'm always against touching up with paint with brush, especially when it's all supposed to be sprayed. So this is good to go, right? Now the MiG-31 is good to go. All right. No, not doing the Valkyrie. 这个不行啊，这个 Taiwan. So I spotted a antenna that's totally bent, and we can't bend it back, because if we bend it back, it's going to break. So I can't accept that. So it's just going to have to be reworked by. How do they rework it? They rework it by dismantling all the parts of the MiG-31, and let's say this part is no good, they will dismantle and then obviously discard that part, and then they will form another MiG-31 based on good parts. That's the only way to do it. Yes, Steve. The B58. I'm hoping to get a test shot out before Chinese New Year. I hope. But chances are slim. But I'm still hoping. There's still about a week left before they break for the Chinese New Year, and the last time I checked, I showed you guys that the molds were being done, but I'm not sure if the molds are finished to a point that we can actually do a test shot. So I've requested for that, and we'll see, right? So if everything goes our way, sometimes you need some luck. If everything goes our way, then I can actually show a B58, at least the body test shot during Nuremberg, right? So for the B58, we're gonna use electroplating to apply the metal colors, and then further on we will use spray masks to mask out the electroplated parts to apply the darker colors of the silver, the titaniums, and all these things. So it's going to be looking to be a very fun project. Hopefully we can pull it off. Again, never give up. And Calibre Wings is still looking for its first model that we can deliver on time, and that could well be the B58, right? It's almost like trying to win a World Cup, right? You have so much to go against to win a World Cup, and you don't win many World Cups. If you win your first World Cup, then it's it sets the precedent for the next World Cup. So if we win the B-58 World Cup, as in we get our first model done on time, delivered on time, right? That's the first milestone we achieve, right? So even though we are late to do that, for the achievement, the fact is we've done it, right? So the moment you've done it, it sets the precedent for the next one, okay? To be on time, and then it can only lead to better things. So never give up. Never give up. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually removing excess wash that I don't think looks nice on certain parts of the model that they forgot to remove. Because removing the wash is obviously a simple task, but you need to be on hand to do it then as you're applying it and not let it dry. Because once it's dried, it's very difficult to remove. So we're looking at this again. This guy needs a bit more touch up on the back. It's just weird, all those people that trolls. So I've learned the hard way that the idea is ignore the trolls. But I'm just weird. I just find it weird that why would these people have nothing else better to do and just wanna, just post negative comments. So especially the stupid model hanger tree, right? Um, I went in there as a different disguise as a different account, and they even praised my review of the JC Wings Prowler. They said that my review was the best diecast review they've ever seen in their entire life. And yet, hello, is the guy that they all hate, is the guy that they all talk shit about. See? So okay, okay，但是不是这种椅子啊，都说了，你看又误会了，这个是椅子啊，现在我们是用这个椅子还是用多个椅子？怎么会那么搞笑？白根，你都跟我说了，不可以用这个椅子，才要用这个椅子。我就跟他说，我们用这个椅子了。那现在你用回这个椅子，对不对？那但是他我已经跟他说，这个椅子是不能要了。
不是啊，这个的椅子不是这种脚的，这个的椅子是脚垂直放下去的，他要的是这个的。
好了，你先做，我给他看就可以了。但是真的是误会了，又是我们误会了，真的是误会了。但是你们已经说不能，只能用这个放直的，对不对？但是你说这样子的是一直是不能用的，所以昨天我跟他解释，直角的是不能用的，我已经解释了。你看嘛，对我跟他说，这个是不能有的，因为这个东西是挡脚的。 不能有的。OK， 我给他看，这是不能有的。而且这个东西，你的手是拿不到这里的，因为它已经是那么高了，拿不到的，所以必须要做好才能有机会拿到这个东西。我们才跟他说要做成这个，要做成这个要做成这个才有机会拿这个。那你现在做给我的是用回，所以这个就是我们真的有这个误会，但是没事了，你就真的是误会了，就是我们以为我们都知道双方在做什么事，已经是误会了。昨天已经跟我说这个是不可以了。
那我们昨天这个说法，
对，因为我跟他们，我跟你们解释为什么你们昨天做的是错的，因为我说按照这个来做，但是你昨天到那里是跟我解释我要做的方式是不能做的，我才去组合那些证据跟他说是不能做的，然后用我们这种直的去做，然后昨天他说 OK 了，懂吗？
那等于是昨天我们开出的这个是正确的。
对，但是要改这些东西呀、
这个改没问题，
对呀、对呀、
跟他说嘛。
对呀、所以我没有，
所以昨天一直有的话，这个时候就 OK 了。
好，
那你现在就叫他把你以前的那个做出来就对了嘛。
对。Yeah, sorry about that. We were discussing about some 3D modeling stuff that was totally misunderstood. Yeah, but it's fine, guys. Don't spend too much time with all these people. They're not worth our time. We just enjoy the hobby and we don't waste too much time, our precious time with all these people. So where was I before I got distracted? Um, so yeah, we set out to always make. 没有要补黑油，不是发白，一点黑油弄上去嘛。So this is the next model here. So again, there's a bit of a paint chip that needs just a little bit, of touch up here. That's it. Just like that. Always thin out your brush to prevent the paint from curing and drying. And this one looks, it looks okay, right? This one looks okay. No major issues here. Yep, there's an issue here. This 这个歪了，你帮我看嘛，全部歪了就不要给我看，按照这个水准，如果是像这样的就不要了。这里关不了，笑起来。Okay. All right. So this one's okay. This one here is a little bit too dark. So you can see, do a bit more to balance it out. So all these rivet details on the stabilizer and requires the wash to be applied in the recess to really bring out the feel. Not too much, just the right amount. It's never too black, it's just a shade. Right? It's just a shade. Just a shade. the little cotton buds on hand to suck up the residue of the excess oils. Just sucks it up. Hey Pete. So yeah, I mean, I did my modeling during the Gulf War, right? As a 13-year-old in the secondary school. That's what we call it in Singapore. Singapore, yeah. So I was modeling, right? My first model is a LS Japan 1:144 scale F-14 Joy Rogers. That's my very first model. I put it together without paint and I applied the decals. It's molded in gull gray, so it looked the part. And then obviously that was my first model before being a teen. And when I was in school, um, yeah, I just got into the scale modeling, plastic modeling hobby, and my first models back then was an F-16 from Fujimi, and then I moved. That's a 72 scale model. I think it's a Wolf Pack as well, and I moved on to get F-16s in 1/48 scale, and I did a competition when I was like 16 years old or around there. No, 14 years old. 14. My first competition. Um, I got second and third prize, with the second prize being a 48 scale F-16 from Hasegawa, and the third prize being a F4G Wild Weasel from Hasegawa as well. So my friend, he got the first prize because he did a um, Hasegawa F-15E dual roll Strike Eagle in that dark gray with all those green missiles. Oh, wrong, bombs, the cluster bombs. All right. So yeah, I've been making models since then, and I always enjoyed the painting process of the model. I always rush to assemble the model. I didn't really care too much about putting in the cockpit. If I can, I would just close the canopy, quickly put the model together so that I can paint it and weather it. That's what I normally do. And I think I did a very, I got fond memories of making almost like, the, in my opinion, the best looking F-117 stealth color, because back then I knew nothing about the actual aircraft. But I thought that it can't be totally black. Um, I actually got images which I will probably just post on Facebook in just a little bit, so that for you guys who actually listen to me, you can actually go check out those pictures later. Um, I'm just trying to say that I had a F-117, and I just sort of weathered it, right? And when I was in the Dayton, Ohio Air Force Museum back in August last year, and I saw the F-117 in the flesh, and I saw the weathering. I was like, oh man, what I did before was spot on. right? So I will share some pictures, and then you guys can just maybe comment on it when I put the photos up on the Facebook page. Uh, Stephen Charles, thanks again. I make the best models, and since your first time purchased the frequent win VF1 Wolfpack, the most favorite Ponking dogs, the models are number one. You are missing a few, and those will be the exclusives. You have so many doubles. Thank you so much, and you're not giving them up, especially those Top Gun models. Thank you, my friend. I wish you all the best as well. There was a time where your Facebook got hacked, huh? Because there was somebody masquerading as you on Facebook, and then I knew that it was a fixer. Yeah. Hope that you didn't have too much inconvenience from that episode. So yeah, I was making models, and I was never gonna be up there with those guys that scratch built, right? Those people that really like scratch built this and scratch built that, and open this and open that, the panel, open up the engine, and all these things. There was a level that I was into, never into. I tried it before, and I was like half complete, but I actually won a bronze prize for the half complete model. So I think when I was 17 years old, I had a competition, and I removed the engine of an F-16 148 scale. I did the interior of the engine bay, but I didn't do the engine. So I got a bronze for that. So I got the photos as well. I'll probably maybe I need to scan the photos to put it up, because those are back in the day. They were done in actual camera, and then we process the film as photographs. So I don't have a digital copy. It's all photographs. So yeah, I mean, back to the question at hand. When I was when I was looking at what's available in the market, the witty wings and the hobby master back in, I would say 2014 or 2013, I forgot. So I decided to just start with making my first F-14, which which ironically I did not make any F-14 as a modeler, and I still have not. As a modeler, um, I have done many F-16s. I've done some, but never an F-14. But never an F-14. So the obvious choice was to make an F-14 because it's an aircraft that have many liveries that people like. So that was my first model. And then the second one was the Su-24, simply because it's a fantastic jet that again nobody has done it before. And went on back to do the F-16 because, as I said, there's no F-16 in the market that I think is of the standard that I would like it to be. Right? Not Hobby Master, not witty wings. So I did the F-16, right? And then there's all these comments about, you don't, why do the engine, not everybody is gonna display the engine. Yeah, it's fine. I've never said that you must display the engine out, right? But the whole idea of the model is that it must have an engine, right? If you know that this model has an engine, wouldn't you feel that this is like more complete of a model than if didn't have an engine, right? And also because of the fact that I chose the way to I chose the way to remove the belly for the flying position. So here's up. The way I chose to do it is to remove the entire belly. So imagine you remove the entire belly. and you only see a fan part and a nozzle part. That's kind of weird, right? So might as well remove the whole belly and you see an engine. So that's the whole rationale behind the F-16 with the engine. Not because everybody must display the engine out. Nope, you don't need to display the engine out. The idea is not to have the engine out. The idea is to have the engine so that you know that this model is not hollow inside. And that's the reason why. Because for the F-16 to have the gear up option, the conventional way is to remove the undercarriage, the main gear, via a cartridge. But if you looked at it, right, the moment you remove the main, you have that cartridge stuck, plugged into the center of the F-16. That means your air intake has to be closed off. Now, which F-16? I mean, the F-16 is, you got to have that air intake, right? The air intake has got to be right in there. So, so that was a main consideration, that it has to have an air intake that deep, and to have it that deep, there's no way for a cartridge main landing gear to be stuck in the middle there to block the air intake. So that's the whole, again, the whole rationale, the whole thought process for the F-16 to have the engine and to have the air intake all the way in, and not like all your other Witty and Hobbymaster that has the air intake just having a wall at the back. And that's the rationale. All right. So we're gonna be carry on looking at this guy. Looks okay. No real issues that I can see. Just a little bit here is too white. It'll be too clean over here. Over here is a bit. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for that. That's why I'm eager to make more F-16s, right? But like I said, we had a hiatus of production because of issues. So the third wave of the F-16s, hopefully I can push it out before the next Shizuoka Hobby Show. How ironic it would be that I presented the models at Shizuoka last May, and then come May this year, I still don't have the products out. That was not the plan. The plan was to have the products out this year, well, last year in 2023. But because the factory just cannot have the bandwidth to do it, that's why we are still without the F-16. And we've not even actually solicited the sales of the F-16 as well, because we don't have actual pictures of the actual model. So once I get that, I will expedite the sales.这个一直翘起来，这个 So again, it's just too much wash over there. Need to be removed. Too much of a dark spot over here. Just to be removed. And then we've got to add a bit more over here. The application of the wash wasn't balanced. This 不可以. Good night, Steven. Appreciate you for being here. Oh, you're in Vegas, huh? Then maybe we can catch up in May. I'll be in Vegas in May. All right, drop me a note. I'll be in Vegas in May. We can probably catch up then. All right, guys. So I go to end the live stream here. I got stuff to do, and again, it will be done ASAP. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. All right. Take care.